Hello, Scrappy friends! Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to our 10th and final episode in the creation of my Fast to Fabulous album. That's right, I took this Creative Memories album, and I've been working my way through it to see if this is the first time I've done a whole complete Fast to Fab album, and I wanted to see if it really sped up my process and if my layouts still look similar to what I like and what I prefer to have in my albums and all that great stuff. And today I'm going to finish it up. I have a few title pages to do, the ending page to do. Then I will give you a complete album share and show you all of it in its completion, as well as I'll show you the supplies I have left and what I'm going to do with them, and my final thoughts. Did it really help? Did I get things done quickly? And well, you'll have to hold on to the end of the video to find out everything. Okay, so let's start with the first title page. Now I have already inserted these. I don't normally like to work right in my book, but I have already put the pages in to kind of, as I was completing them, give them a home. So I have to come back to this top page and get this title page in. So let me show you what I have to add to the front page. I have here a giant postcard, and if you know from watching the other 9 videos, I used postcards a lot, so why not? This was a great postcard that was left in our room by the cruise ship. It has the name of the ship as well as the cruise line, so perfect, and of course a beautiful picture of the ship itself, so yep, overall just perfect. Then I have this photo that we took thinking it was during one of the formal dinner nights. I'm not sure, but it was with the captain, and I do have his name, so I'll leave a little spot to write his name underneath. And then this is a picture that's not that great of a printout, but this is from back in the day when we had film cameras, so I can't go back and enhance it. But it's just a display of champagne and wine bottles the night of the captain's dinner. So I thought, this photo didn't make it into any other layout, so I thought that would be great. And then I just have our plane tickets, or stubs, which you don't get anymore. So I thought that's kind of fun, and I would just put those kind of tucking out behind that postcard. Okay, then I just want to bring in a very quick title, and very simple. It's just going to say, our honeymoon begins, and it'll be all much more straight than I do have it on the wax paper. And so it'll say our honeymoon begins. I kind of want that one tilted. Maybe bring this down a little bit. So very simple title page. I basically just reserved a couple of photos and postcards and memorabilia that I wanted to have on the front page instead of throughout the album. So let me go ahead and get this adhered down, and I'm going to come back and just add a couple little finishing touches and some stickers. Okay, so I'll be right back. Hold on. Everything is adhered down, and I wanted to get the year on there, so I kind of snuck that in, that little area right in there between the memorabilia and the postcard. I thought that would be a perfect place for it. And I just want to add a couple more stickers. So I'm going to bring in these stickers from the Wanderlist. Now I have just mixed up stickers, and I shouldn't say mixed up. I have just combined a lot of stickers from a lot of different collections. So it's just what I absolutely love, is how everything kind of goes together, right? So here's a picture of a cruise ship, and I just want to bring that right down here next to the date. And then up here I have this big open area, and I love this one that says just cruisin'. So I think I kind of want to put it not quite on the photo, somewhere in between, so it looks like it's part of the whole title. And I feel like that could be taken a lot of different ways. Now, I don't know if this sticker was intended to be for a cruise, but of course it applies because we are just cruising. But it could mean other things too. Seeing how this was 30 years ago, I could say, hey, just cruising through life, cruising through marriage, cruising through the beginning of our marriage. Who knows? It could be taken a lot of different ways. So I love that right there. And that is all I'm going to add to this very simple title page. And I wanted to point out how perfect this page turned out to be, because I was able to nestle this postcard right into that border that was already there. I didn't need to add any other paper, so that was terrific. Okay, so let me jump ahead and get going on the next title page, which will be the beginning of our 10-year anniversary, so about halfway through this album. Hold on, I'll turn the page and we'll get going. Okay, so here we are at the second title page in the album. So the first cruise has ended, and this is 10 years past this first cruise is our second cruise. And I don't have a lot of photos or memorabilia left like I did from the first one. I just have this one postcard, and it's actually from when we arrived in Florida. We had stayed the night there. We might have stayed a couple nights before our cruise had taken off. But and then we sent this postcard home to our kids so that they know we were thinking about them. So this is going to actually be in a peekaboo pocket, because I do want them to be able to flip it over and read the other side. But I liked how I tucked it down in there. So let's see. I'll see how far I'm going to tuck that in there after I get everything else on. Okay, so that's the only memorabilia. And then I want to bring in a couple pieces of paper. I had this scrap laying around from the Our Moments collection, and it just has a bunch of cameras on it. So I wanted to bring that in, and then a piece of black, and that's going to house my very large title for this page. And I'm going to start my title off with this chipboard piece. And it's obviously a cruise ship, so I thought perfect. Put that right there, and then my title is going to say Our Amazing, and I'm going to try and kind of stagger these throughout that little block right there. Our Amazing Journey Continues, and I'm not sure. I'm going to try and nestle that in there somehow, and I'm going to put in a little tag here that explains 10-year anniversary cruise. This was a little too long to write up there, and I kind of wanted to play off with a bunch of different fonts, so I just love that look and think that it's fun. So our journey continues, but I wanted to be more specific and write down what is continuing, and that's our anniversary cruise. And then I'm just going to add some embellishments to this, so I want to bring in some more of these fabulous die cuts, and I'm just going to have that protruding off of the tag. And I had a couple of these suns or firecracker, firework actually, punch. So I'm going to bring that in and slide it down just a bit, just to add a little something here. Then up in this area, since I have a huge space, I'm going to bring in some more of these beautiful embellishments that I've been using throughout the book. So I think it's going to tie in really nicely, and I'm just going to layer the two flowers and put some leaves like that and just kind of use that as my decoration. Probably pop this one up onto some foam tape. That's going to be it. That's going to be my title page to kind of lead us into the next chapter of the book. So let me get all this adhered down, and we'll come back with maybe a couple little finishing touches or some bling somewhere. Okay, hold on, I'll be right back. Everything's adhered down. I love my title. I love how it's big and bold. And this is still loose because it will go in a peekaboo pocket. I wanted to rest on the tag a little bit, but I do want it to be able to open up. So that one I still will adjust a tiny bit. Now for some final touches, I'm going to bring in some bling on this one. And I really like the turquoise. What I'd like to do is bring them up here and kind of sprinkle them around. And there we go. Yep, I like it. And then I'd like to add a few right down here. Let's see what colors we have. thinking 3 right on the edge of the paper there. So let's use the smallest green ones that we have, and we'll just put 3 in a little row. Okay, there we go. I love it. I love the big, bold title. I love my simple embellishments. I just think it adds a lot of whimsy to my page. So I am going to pause the video, get some page protectors on some of the pages. Some of the pages that need peekaboo pockets like this one, I will add the protector, and I'll add the peekaboo pocket onto it now. And then others I will leave without page protectors so that we don't have a glare. But then I will come back and I will do a flip through of the whole completed album. And also at the end of the completed album share, you will see how I'm going to tackle the very last page in the album. Okay, so hold on and I'll be right back. Okay, I have the album ready for the flip through, so I'm going to go ahead and begin that. And at the end of the flip through, I will discuss what I have left and what I'm going to do with the leftover product, and then my final thoughts. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to be quiet and turn on some music. We had this formal photo taken during the cruise, and we hadn't had a formal photo taken of the two of us in a super long time. So we got this taken. That is actually a glare from my camera. Sorry, let's see if I can get rid of that. Here, I'll put it right there. There we go. That is not in the photo. But there we go. That is how I ended the book. I just put our formal picture there and a bunch of nice word titles around it. And that's going to be the end of the album. So yes, I am so excited that I have finished this just on time. My anniversary is in just a couple days, so I am so happy to be able to show this to my husband. Yeah, I think he's going to really love it. He's walked in a couple times and seen it, but he has not seen the majority of it. So I'll let you know what he thinks of it. Okay, so now let's talk about what I have left. I started the album with the album. This is the Serene Albums album, and I started with the Serene album pages. And I also added the Tropic time pages. But I thought that I was able to mend those together very nicely. You can't even really tell where one stops and one begins. Okay, then I had purchased the Serene Waters Tone on Tone paper pack, and I had scraps from the Tropic time, very little scraps, and then I just pulled in all kinds of other papers, really leaning heavily on my Totally Tonal packs, and those just came in so wonderful and nice throughout the album, just for little pops of color. And what I have left of this paper pack is 2 full sheets of paper. That's pretty good. I was surprised I even had 2 full sheets, especially this one, but the fish didn't surprise me because I'm not a huge fan of that paper. But there we go. These will get filed probably in my summertime category because that's where I would go look for water or water-themed papers. Then I had some very minor little scraps that I just kept pulling these along throughout the whole album until I was finished. Now that I'm done these tinier scraps, I will just toss them because I don't need to hold on to them any longer. And that'll be that. And then I do have some bigger scraps left, and these I will hold on to. So if they have a paper pack to go into, they'll go back into the regular collection. Like the Totally Tonals will go back into their proper paper pack. So basically, I'm just going to file all those where they belong. And if I don't have a category for them, they will go in my color scrap folder. Now I did have some extra pages, so even though, I guess it goes like this, even though I combined those 2 packs, I have 4 pages left. And so what will I do with these? These I probably will just put in with my traditional pages. I don't use them very often, but when I do, I'll pull these out and probably end up wallpapering the whole thing if it doesn't line up. Like this one won't line up because it's the end of the other album. But yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just put them in with my traditional pages and I'll use them up someday. Then I have a bunch of stickers and mat cards to file away. I still have these vintage stickers I wasn't able to incorporate, laser cut borders, and that I'll probably put in my love category. A ton of mat cards left, and the reason I have so many is I kept adding to it. When I used up my Sweet Summer collection and I added them here, and so all this was just sitting out on my table, and every time I would just keep adding and adding and adding. So I don't really think that's a lot, but I'm gonna file if they go in summer, then I will put them with summer, or I'll put some back into my regular system of rainbow colored mat cards. Okay, and then I have a ton of stickers. And these 2 sheets came from the Wonderlist collection. I'll put that into my travel category. And then all the rest of these, I'm already done with all these paper collections, Sweet Summer, Sun Rays for Days, and Tropic Time. So all these will just go into my summer category. And I'm sure I'll be pulling these out again really soon because I love all of them. And then as for my embellishments, the gems will go into my gem box, and then the embellishments will get filed into either summer or I have a Tropic area like Hawaii, they'll go into those areas or into ocean. So I'll divide all these up, and some of the standard die cuts I'll just probably leave on my tray here and trying and incorporate them in upcoming layouts. So none of it will be wasted. I will use all of this someday. I'm sure you'll see it coming back into other videos. Okay, so that concludes this album. Again, I'm so excited, and thank you so much for following along through the whole series. I appreciate all your wonderful comments and keeping me motivated to continue the project as well. So, what are my final thoughts? Did the Fast2Fab album help me get my pages done quickly? Let me bring the album back in. So, let's talk about the length of time it took. So I started this, I think it was about May, the middle of May, and here we are the end of August. So we're talking about 3.5 months. So overall, yes, that was much quicker because these were pictures that had been laying around for 30 years, 20 to 30 years. So, I mean, come on, if it took me 3 months, I guess, to get them in an album, then that's super great. The actual time I spent on each page, I think, was relatively much quicker than I normally do. I loved it because I did not have to pick out any paper, and that part was a huge time saver, and that I would highly recommend that for anybody to give this a try, because I just felt like so many times if you pick a collection according to the theme you're working on, you'll probably find that what I found out is when I would turn the page and voila, it would match what I wanted it to match because I purposely selected an album and the pages that I thought would go with my theme, and they did. The color scheme I thought was just perfect. It brought in a lot of those beautiful bold colors like this one that I probably would not have normally done but in an album. So I loved it because it challenged me, but yet I think that it turned out beautiful, and I was also able to incorporate my own style. So the paper choices were done. Then all I had to think about was if I was going to mat them. Now, you don't have to mat on these pages. You can lay your photos down and they would look just as beautiful. I tried to bring in some mats for the photos when I thought it was needed. And I also brought in a lot of layering pieces and embellishments. So I feel like that's more true to my nature of scrapbooking, and so I wanted to continue that in this album as well. Surely all that could be taken away and it would go even faster. Now, normally when I'm doing a video, I'll do 1 2-page layout max in about 30 minutes, and on these videos, I found that doing 3 2-page layouts was, plenty for a video. And I think once I got into the groove, okay, I'm going to do 3, and then I would do another 3 and another 3. And somehow I ended up with 10 videos. I was really surprised about that. I honestly will tell you that I thought it was going to be just a couple of videos, but 3 became a great number, I thought, to show. And I think because of filming, that might have slowed me down on the project. As well as I did have other projects I was doing around this one. So, yes, my answer is yes. It did. Using a Fast2Fab album really sped up the time that it took me to create the pages. As I was saying, I do a 2-page layout in about 25 to 30 minute video, and I was doing 3 double-page layouts in about a 45-minute to 50-minute video. So that's pretty good. I was very happy with it. When I would work on it, it went really fast. Having my kit together, having all my extra papers for matting, and my mat cards and my journaling cards, and having the tray of embellishments, I can't say that enough. I've said it throughout the video how much that helped me, because when I sat down to create the pages, I had everything I needed right there at my fingertips and hardly had to get up at all for anything. So what did I discover about this book that I just absolutely loved is the amount of different punches and border making cartridges and border punches and regular punches. I brought in so many different types of elements that I probably normally wouldn't do on a page, because I felt like I had the extra time, I guess, to go do that because I wasn't selecting paper. So I had the different tools, and I did make a list of all the tools that I wanted to use on this in this album. As I was planning a page, I would just look at my list and be like, oh yeah, I want to use a new punch, and so I would bring in something different or something that I felt like would go with the pages. And so I was so happy with the amount of different tools that I used throughout this whole entire album. And that shocked me. That surprised me how many I used. So on this type of album, I say bring out your tools and get them used, right? So on that note, this will be my final stop, and my final message on this video is, again, to thank you all for sticking through the entire 10 videos with me. I truly do appreciate it, and I know a lot of you out there were saying how you wanted to do the same thing, and that you're recently starting your honeymoon album, and some of you even encouraged me that you had been married longer than me and just finished your albums. This was a really fun project. Would I do it again? Yep, absolutely. I will do it again. I'm just gonna have to think about which project I want to do, because there's so many options out there. So that is all for today, and I want to thank you for stopping by, and if you want to click that like button, I surely would appreciate it. So thank you, and have a great day, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.